going on, family? My name is Abram, and I'm an alcoholic. And I'm here to share my experience, strength, and hope. Hopefully I can help someone out there who is struggling in addiction or even in recovery. Because in recovery, we can be stuck as well. So what I mean by being stuck in recovery is our first year. We're doing the recovery thing as far as maybe you do church, meetings, therapy, or whatever you develop to help you stay sober. Now, I do want to say this. You must develop something. You must reach out for sober support, somebody you can lean on. Because just as in addiction, you leaned on your homeboys to have some dope, or your homegirls to have a bottle, or wherever the situation may be, you must have people you can lean on when it comes to recovery support. One of the biggest things I feel it is as far as growing in recovery. So with that being said, what's some of the things you can do to keep yourself focused? I think you should focus, especially in the beginning, on your positive qualities. What can you do and contribute to yourself and others as far as in recovery? Usually it's hard for us to see those things, but we were great at some good things before addiction, but addiction had took over and ultimately we lost ourselves in it. So let's go back to the beginning of when you lost yourself. How old were you at that time? What was going on with you? Because a lot of times you want to ask yourself, why did I start drinking that way? Why did I start smoking dope or, going hard in the drugs, whatever your drug of choice may be? Because there's a reasoning there. I know sometimes we think about it as, oh, I was just partying and I just stayed at the party too long. Could be true. But what kept you in your addiction the way you were using? It was like, and for myself, I never wanted to be sober. When I woke up in the morning, I wouldn't brush my teeth or wash my ass. I go straight to the liquor store and I would drink first. And I considered doing those things I mentioned first, considered it, sometimes to get around to it because the drinking once again took over. So we want to ask ourselves, why was life so bad that we couldn't deal with reality? Because that's what we was doing. We was running away from ourselves and reality. I couldn't live the life I was living any longer. And I didn't want to feel the things I was feeling. So when we look at it for what it is, it's like, okay, trauma, environment, whatever else can contribute to my addiction. It could have even been loss of a relationship, loss of a job. People take these type of things differently. So whatever yours was, think about that. And then so if we get back to the nitty gritty on why I started using like that in the first place, I can catch up to myself for who I had become in my addiction. Okay, let me tackle those things because maybe those traumas or the mental health or the consequences I faced in my addiction or before was so severe I never dealt with it. So what we do is we put trauma on top of trauma. We put these negative emotions on top of more negative emotions that I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with the fact that I'm angry all the time. But I'm angry all the time because I lost my mother and I don't understand why God took my mother away from me. And I actually experienced that. I had to look at it for what it is. And the loss of a mother is something that no one can tell you how to feel or how to take that. But I do want to say this. The loss of your loved one, it could be your mother, your brother, whoever it was. If it wasn't your family member that was supposed to pass at that moment, who family member should it have been? My life coach told me like this, Abram, who mom was God supposed to take? And at that moment, I looked at it for what it is. It was just that time for my mother to transition. So once I can actually have that type of understanding, I was able to move forward. But you can't move forward if you're not really looking at the cause or the condition of the situation. If I'm just stuffing it in a bottle, I'm continuing to stuff my emotions in the bottle, right? I'm drinking it. But what's at the bottom of a bottle? Another bottle. So I continuously stay in this loop of addiction, drinking, using, because I'm trying to run from something that ultimately not even chasing me. Because when I stop drinking and stop using, the problem's still there. It's not. It's me running away from myself. So let's loop it back. We want to get down to the nitty gritty on why I use like that in the first place, and I think that's very important when it comes to sobriety and recovery. Because let's say I'm dry, meaning I'm not really focusing on why I use like that. I just stopped cold turkey and I went on to live my life. That problem is still there and it can surface at any time. And a lot of times how it surfaces sometimes is it's an experience you may feel. It's something that may happen in your life. You may see something that trigger that trauma or trigger that emotion. Boom, you back in it. Oh my God, it's overwhelming. I never did nothing for it, but all I know what to do is to get high or get drunk. Ultimately, I'm back down like SmackDown. I'm back drinking again. I'm back using again. So with all that summed up in one, let's get down to the nitty gritty on why I use like that in the first place. Because if I don't, it's going to constantly chase me. It's going to hunt me. Once again, my name is Abram and I'm an alcoholic. And that's my 2 cents, I should say, on the subject matter. Once again, I don't know everything, but I do know what I'm giving you and it can help. Anything that you guys feel maybe I can do better or even talk about you want to hear, comment below. Let me know how you feel about the situation. Maybe it's something you're going through that can help another, or it can help me. I'm not perfect. My life it's great. You know what I'm saying? But it's things I can work on, the behaviors that came from addiction or before. So once again, my name is Abram. I'm an alcoholic. I want to thank you for listening. I want to ask if you can subscribe, like, comment, help me, help you, help the world. Go.